Okay, this is the final version because my coffee cup is almost empty, and then that means shower time. Okay, so let's get to brass tacks. I was talking about Aaron in the first two volumes. Volume 3 will discuss the final section. Like I said, Aaron wants so much, but he doesn't want to give in to simple tasks since I can't do things. I mean, I've even had to bail him out, like I said, for quarters for laundry. I mean, right now I got on him. He said a week ago he had money for laundry, which he does. Last night I said, you stink. He goes, yeah, my clothes haven't been washed. I said, why don't you get off your fucking lazy ass and go do it? Well, I don't want to play baseball and play on the computer. I said, you don't come over to my place until your laundry's done, or at least you got clean clothes. Oh, I got clean clothes, like one or two things left, and then I gotta wash. You know, he wears the same thing over, and over and over. And the other thing is, he doesn't like showers, so it could take him 3 to 5 days. At times, I'm like, whoa, go home and shower. So, he does, but he doesn't like it. That's the other reason why I didn't want to go through the sex change, apparently, as he told his therapist. Oh, and his therapist says, well, you should get rid of Rita because Rita's a bad partner. Rita goes and bribes you to get the work done. Well, I don't bribe. I'm like, can you do this, this, and this? Oh, yeah, I need this and this. Okay, well, so therapist and what do you call that? Shrink, psychiatrist. It gives them psych meds, I think, or psychologist is like, well, you should get rid of Rita, or Aries is bad. I'm not bad, alright? Whatever Aaron says, I mean, I've told my therapist I bail him out so much. My therapist is like, well, make boundaries and stick to it. Get your goals done, and the hell with him. Well, I'm doing that now. I mean, I've kept my money, and, so I usually go once a month to Freda and once a month to Wenatchee to get groceries. Usually I pick up, like, Stouffer stuff for myself. Weekly meal for Tuesdays with my Uncle Donnie. This Tuesday he's making ham hocks and smoked ham hocks and beans, which ain't bad. So, but like I said, with Aaron, I just have to get on him at times. And lately I've said no, and his therapist is like, "Oh well, you should get rid of her because." She's bad. Well, yeah, it's bad because sometimes when I'm doing my movies and, he comes and says, he belches into the mic and says, I'm a man. And, so I'm like, shut the hell up, is what I tell him. So, technically, when I say that, she's like, well, she's verbally abusing you. You should leave him. So, I've been pampered by Aaron, and I pamper Aaron too, but lately Aaron's just going downhill to the point where, it's all about Texas. I mean, I've talked about it too because I found it to be a nice idea. One is, maybe if I do the Texas land deal, I stay in Washington, he can manage the ranch. He can sit there in the dusty, grimy ranch and work there until, either he gets tired of the desert, or B, he has something else happen, Like, I don't know. Let's just say, let me give you an example that's funny. Me and, Aaron's dad, John, I call him Dad, too. I'm like, hey, Dad. He's like, so, what technology gizmos are you going to ask me about this time? Talked about the BlackBerry, talked about Linux, talked about Apple. We talked about different things, and I said, well, Aaron wants to go to the desert. Well, let Aaron. Keep your apartment. I said, I'm planning to. He said, good girl, good girl. So we're talking, and I said, what we should do, and he says, I've been thinking about something myself. And I said, okay, what is it? He said, Aaron wants to go to the desert. We should both get him to sign a paper insuring him. So if he dies down in the desert because of heat stroke, lack of water, we're both insured under the insurance policies. I made a joke with him and said that's not a bad idea because he's going down into the desert and he wants to go down in next month. This is one of his purchase orders. Want to take a tent down there and camp for a while, check out the land. If he doesn't like it, get a hold of them and change parcels until he finds the right one that's perfect for hunting and everything. I was like, whatever. Just leave me up here because if, you know, I told him the way he said it was, those Texicans, if you stay on your land and you don't bother them, they don't bother you, you're fine. But if you go into town, you might get the shit kicked out of you. Who knows? I mean, so, you know, I figured, maybe Texas might be a good thing. He goes down there. I'm up here in my little apartment. Maybe I can find a wife. Manager in the apartment building. We used to live together, but Aaron wanted to see if he could live on his own, and well, the manager was like, well, Aaron can live on his own, but the problem is Aaron lives like a pigsty, and his place smells like urine and wood and stuff like this, so it's not good. Well, I was like, well, what the hell? You know, my place is 99% clean, so she's like, well, so manager and I, we get along. It's just I don't bother with her, and she doesn't bother me, and I don't bother any other tenants. Mostly when I run into a tenant, like, tenants are always, yeah, did you hear this? Did you hear that? We have one guy, we call him the town crier in town. But anyways, in the building, I mean, he thinks he knows everything. So, but anyways, when it comes to Aaron, I figured maybe it would be good to stick him in Texas because I can find a wife up here. I mean, I know it's cold-hearted to say, but, you know, it's either find a transgendered partner that wants to, you know, transgendered or genetic. I'm looking for genetic, but don't think that'll work. Genetic because I still want children. You know, I got frozen stuff and this and that, but point is I don't know, you know. So, but when it comes to Aaron, I think personally, maybe Texas might be a good thing for him. He's from Texas, but he was born there. Lived there like 6 months of his life. So, but like I said, I don't know. I have my own doubts, you know. So when it comes to it, you know, who knows? So I don't mind, but at the same time, I don't dismind. So, but it's just an idea because he just drives me nuts. And if I'm ever going to be complete, I don't want, you know, to sell myself as a hooker, prostitute, call girl, or you know, porn if I don't have to. I'm willing to go that route, but I really don't want to because, you know, I have dignity and I believe in the good book. Yeah. So, and frankly, you know, whoever does this, it's not a choice they have to make. It's just mandatory. They got to do it, you know, to get ahead. You know, some say it's the devil's game, but some things aren't the devil's game. Deceit's the devil's game, but being a hooker, a prostitute, call girl, that's not the devil's game in my opinion. Sometimes you're forced to do things you don't want to do to survive. That's what it's called, survival. I could go on and on and on about survival, but I won't because I've read every survival book out there I can tell you. My bookshelf is full of survival. That's how I could survive in the deserts of, I was homeless for a while in the deserts of Australia, so I could live homeless in Australia. I could live homeless, or in a tent basically is what I did. I could live in a tent in Texas, but I'd rather have my little apartment. So, reasons I want to think Texas would be good for Aaron? Well, you've heard him from me. Let him live in Texas. So, with that said, I'm going to edit this, upload it, and take a shower. Hasta lasagna, and don't get any on you.